From the Grayman Briefing, this is a summary of recent developments regarding the Second Amendment, cybersecurity, protests, supply chain disruptions, national security, law and order, free speech, censorship, government oversight, and more.
For the fourth quarter of 2025, this is Update 7 to the Grayman Briefing summary of recent developments. Across the country, in New York, ISIS propaganda threatened a Manhattan Project attack tied to 109 individuals. Separately, New York saw a Muslim and socialist elected mayor and unverified rumors of an NYPD walkout while the FDNY Commissioner resigned. In Virginia, a Muslim won statewide office. In Oregon, Trantifa and anti-ICE protesters held coordinated demonstrations against the Portland ICE facility. In Illinois, Broadview saw a handmade-style protest, and in Chicago, the Latin Kings issued a shoot-on-sight order and gunfire was directed at Border Patrol agents. In California, agitators clashed with attendees and police at a Turning Point USA event in Berkeley. On a national level, federal officials warned of imminent air travel disruption due to FAA staffing shortages. The Senate advanced a bipartisan deal to end a 40-plus day government shutdown. Weekly civil unrest patterns continued with coordinated anti-ICE, anti-Trump, and pro-Palestinian demonstrations. Finally, new intel revealed that D.C. police may have been involved in that January 5th Pipebomb attack at the RNC and DNC. Let's begin today with civil unrest. In Washington, D.C. on November 5th, members of the Handmaid Army D.C. joined demonstrators at an anti-Trump protest on the National Mall, organized by Refuse Fascism and other partner groups. Many participants wore red cloaks and white bonnets inspired by The Handmaid's Tale. They marched through downtown and called for the impeachment and removal of President Trump, citing opposition to policies enacted by Trump in his second administration. Handmaid Army DC identifies itself as an anonymous network of violent, they say nonviolent, nonpartisan activist volunteers united to resist the unprecedented fascist threats of our times. No arrest or violent incidents were reported during this event on the 5th. In Portland, Oregon on November 10th, the protest group Degenerates Against Fascism, also known as Trantifa, gathered at a park near the U.S. Immigration and ICE enforcement facility. A transgender speaker addressed intersections of far-left protest activity, gender identity focus, and immigration policy opposition. Separately, anti-ICE and pro-LGBT protesters gathered outside the ICE facility in the South Waterfront neighborhood for an 80s-themed yoga and aerobics class titled Sweatin' Out the Fascist. Participants combined retro workout moves with protest signs and pride flags. In Chicago, the Latin Kings criminal gang organization authorized a shoot-on-sight directive targeting federal agents from the U.S. Border Patrol working under Operation Midway Blitz. On November 8th, in the Little Village neighborhood, a shooter from a vehicle opened fire at Border Patrol agents during a federal enforcement operation. Bystanders also hurled bricks and paint cans at the agents' vehicles. This incident follows multiple violent actions against federal officers. The shooter remained at large at the time of reporting. In Berkeley, California, on November 10th, a physical confrontation occurred at a Turning Point USA event at the University of California. At least one individual wearing dark clothing struck another wearing a red Freedom t-shirt, and 2 arrests were confirmed. Blood was seen all over the sidewalk. Protesters affiliated with Students Organizing for Liberation and the Democratic Socialist of America conducted disruption activities to oppose the approved Turning Point USA appearance. Far-left agitators assaulted police, pushed past barricades, and deployed smoke bombs and flares. Security was increased and the event was declared a major event by campus officials. Join the GraymanBriefing.com for real-time updates on protest rallies, marches, and disruptions. Let's shift now into terrorism. On April 11th, a propaganda statement attributed to ISIS claimed that an operation titled Manhattan Project targeting New York City was successfully planned for November 4th. The statement said open-source jihad instructions were sent to 109 targeted individuals in the United States and invoked the September 11th date as symbolic. It referenced 11/4 operations and called out U.S. figures by name. The messaging appears to be a threat designed to incite or coordinate attacks on U.S. soil. This raised concerns because it mentioned 109, quote, Muslim brothers that were already identified in New York ready to attack, suggesting internal coordination. Threat messaging coincided with Election Day, and that's concerning because extremist actors have historically used civic events to amplify impact. An attack did not come to fruition on the 4th, but concerns remain open for future actions. Let's shift now into the current events briefing. In New York City on November 4th, Zohran Mamdani won the New York City mayoral election, becoming the first Muslim mayor of New York City and first openly socialist mayor of a major U.S. city. He is a dual Ugandan U.S. citizen, a Shia Muslim, and a Democratic Socialist. His win marked a significant shift in New York City political leadership. The election was closely watched due to his policy positions and public statements. His background and ideological platform continue to draw nationwide attention, as he is anti-police and has listed a number of reasons why the New York City Police Department is, according to him, is filled with bigots and racists. Moving on, in Virginia, on November 4th, Ghazala Hashimi won the Virginia Lieutenant Governor race. She became the first Muslim elected to statewide office in that state. Hashmi is a Democrat and was born in India. And of course, her win reflects Virginia's shifting political landscape and demographic changes. And in Washington, D.C., late on November 10th, the Senate voted to end a 41-plus day government shutdown by advancing a bipartisan deal. The measure combines a continued resolution with 3 appropriation bills. 8 Democrats joined Republicans to pass it, and the bill now moves to the House, where Speaker Johnson said a vote could happen as early as today. The action followed weeks of stalled negotiations and increased pressure caused by nationwide flight disruptions. Also in D.C., on January 5th, back in 2021, 2 pipe bomb devices were placed near the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee buildings. On October 21st of this year, 2025, the FBI released new surveillance video, new to the public that is, of the suspect who placed those pipe bombs near the offices of the RNC and DNC. On November 8th of this year, an investigative report claims that the former U.S. Capitol police officer named Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff, who is also a key witness against January 6 protesters and rioters, is a 94 to 98% match via forensic gait analysis software to that pipe bomb suspect. The report states the algorithm analyzed walking parameters such as knee flexion, hip extension, speed, step length, cadence, and variation, along with an unnamed analyst estimated report of it being a 98% match. Kirchhoff reportedly served on the U.S. Capitol Police from 2018 until mid-2021, stepping down 6 months after January 6th, and later moving to a security detail associated with U.S. intelligence agencies. The forensic match claim is based solely on video comparisons, not on law enforcement confirmation. The report notes neither the FBI or the DOJ have publicly confirmed that Kirchhoff is a suspect. A DOJ official, Ed Martin, reportedly stated that Kirchhoff has not been identified by the DOJ as the suspect at this time. Experts note gait analysis has significant limitations as forensic proof, particularly when video quality is low or when a single investigative technique is used. Let's go ahead and end there for today. Remember that these briefings are delivered in real time to Grayman Briefing subscribers, sent via the Telegram and Signal apps, also via weekly emails. Thanks for listening, and as always, remain aware, be vigilant, and stay safe.